The Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code CFBX. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20x in one game. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. And we're also brought to you by VSiN. Sign up now and save 40% off with their football season special when you use promo code SGP. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Use promo code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. D-Gens assemble. Welcome back to Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and partner, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Raub. And we have a special guest this evening, Mr. Jeremy Popes from FTN Fantasy. How are we doing, gentlemen? Welcome, Jeremy.
Good. Yeah. Excited. Talk about week 4. It's crazy how fast the NFL season is flying by us. Are any of you guys 3-0 in your redraft leagues?
Not redraft.
Two.
I have a couple dynasty leagues. I'm 3-0.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's been a pretty good year for me so far as well. So doing these exercises and start and sits has truly helped. I'm hoping it helps the people who listen as well. But yeah, I mean, putting in the time, the effort, the research truly does matter.
Absolutely. Jeremy, you working on anything exciting over at FTN? Anything that our listeners can look out for this week?
I don't have anything coming up. I have the Dynasty podcast. I do that weekly. Kind of really focusing on college football stuff, some scouting reports and stuff like that. Kind of put them on pause just the first couple of weeks of the season. So there are some up there, some running back stuff. You can check that out. They're really cool. Kind of have some stuff. It's free too. Those ones are. Has some links and stuff to some video stuff, and then some injury stuff. Kind of an overview scouting report on each player. Nice. That's going to be coming out throughout the season. Other than that, just some standard rankings and stuff like that. So
awesome. Yeah, everybody go give Jeremy a follow at Popes FFH on the X, on the Twitter application. Tonight, we are going to dive into some start and sit questions from our listeners. Diving into the mailbag. Andrew, why don't you kick us off here with our first question, and we can get to talking some start and sits.
Of course. Brandon Schiller, I think that's how you pronounce it, Schiller, from the SGPN Fantasy Football Discord asks, as long as Anthony Richardson clears concussion protocol, can I start him? I also have Russell Wilson, who has not been tremendous, but gets to play the Bears. Or I can start Jared Goff on Thursday Night Football. I don't prefer Thursday Night Football starts for QBs. What should I do? Why don't we pass that over to the guest himself, Jeremy? What do you think about Anthony Richardson, Russell Wilson, or Jared Goff?
I think the struggle you're going to have is you can't start Russell Wilson. So Richardson, I think he practiced today, so I don't know if they said that he totally cleared concussion protocol yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's risky. I think it's likely he does because he did practice today. And at that point, I'm definitely starting Anthony Richardson. But the issue is I don't want to start Russell Wilson over Jared Goff. So I would probably wait. You're going to find out before Thursday Night Football. So if Richardson's cleared, I'm playing him. If not, I'm starting Goff just because the matchup's not terrible for him against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go that route just because Russ is. I thought he was going to do like smash this week against Miami, and then we all saw how that happened. Although if Cortland Sutton could catch, we'd probably been a little bit better. But
Indianapolis gets the Rams. It's a good matchup. Yeah, if Richardson's healthy. My concern is that even if he is, maybe they do hold him out. I mean, Minshew just beat the Ravens. I mean, on the road in the rain, brought out a tough win in overtime. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but they got it done. I think I like Goff. I mean, he's produced still the most out of any of these guys, especially as like a passer. Richardson's still been relying on his run game. I don't think the concussion is going to come into play as far as like limiting his ability to produce, but you're just really going to rely still on his rushing upside. And coming back from a concussion, I still feel like even if he's on the field, he leans towards, maybe safer plays. I'm gonna say Jared Goff. I don't love Thursday night starts either. I agree you should probably prioritize him over Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson gets to play my Bears, so. I mean, tread lightly, I guess, with the Russell Wilson hate this week. I mean, he may throw one in our faces, or I don't know, maybe those running backs have a decent game. They've been allowing a ton of yards on the ground, but regardless, I think that the Broncos are obviously in a good spot. Both teams are. I mean, the Broncos let up 70, and the Bears have just been like literally the two worst defenses. The two teams that have allowed the most points through as 3 games through 3 weeks. It's these guys. So I guess we might need to be excited for both sides. I don't know, or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not Richardson for me. I do worry about that a little bit. Plus, I think the Rams are kind of slowly getting into a decent groove on defense. So I'll probably pass on Richardson this week. It's Wilson or Goff for me. The problem I have with Wilson is we just saw, Javonte Williams not get a whole lot of usage in this last game. Samaje Perine's kind of been iffy, but I don't think the Bears are very good at stopping the run either. So I kind of worry that if you start Wilson, maybe they just have a great rushing day. Jared Goff's a good play, though the Packers, again, seem to be kind of hitting a good stride with their passing defense. I guess gun to head, I'd probably go Goff just based off of the offense, but Russell Wilson is a sneaky play. They could open up the playbook a little bit here for him. And if he can't do it against the Bears, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So maybe that's, the mindset they take here. So I guess Goff, but Wilson's definitely in consideration for me.
Interesting.
All right, we'll move on to the next one here. I've got Dan Jensen from the SGPN Fantasy Football Discord asking, Zach Moss or Alvin Kamara, 12-team PPR. I was able to grab Moss in need last week, but I stashed Kamara and used average draft capital to get him. Am I overreacting to the Moss production? Which player has more upside this week, and who should I start? Again, we'll kick it over to Jeremy first.
I have Zach Moss ranked ahead of Alvin Kamara this week.
Interesting. Okay.
Zach Moss has been used at CMC type levels for his usage and snap shares. I think it's currently he leads the league. I'm trying to find the stat that I posted earlier. Yeah, so an opportunity share, it's 42% via FTN data, which is a percentage of snaps that he sees a target or a carry, and that leads the league currently.
Interesting.
He's a workhorse back. There's not much behind him. Kamara, I likely think that they ease him in a touch. He's obviously going to get used a lot. I'm not too worried about the matchup against the Rams. We just saw Mixon put up a decent number on them. And I guess the worry you would have would be if Richardson is active, what's going to happen to the running backs? Do they lose some targets? Because the running backs weren't overly exciting while Richardson was in the small sample size we have. And obviously they benefit from Gardner Minshew, who's a little bit less mobile. But yeah, I'm still leading the hand of Zach Moss, who is hot right now. And Kamara gets Tampa Bay. Not the worst matchup because Tampa just got lit up by Philly, but I'm going to give Kamara a week just to kind of settle in. Still a top 20 guy for me. actually top 15, but I just lead to Zach Moss at the moment, who I have as a top 12 guy this week.
What do you think, Andrew?
I'm actually going to go the opposite direction here. I'm going to take Kamara. It does scare me first week back. How much are they truly going to, give him? But I mean, it's not like he's coming back from injury. He's coming back from suspension. So they'll probably end up giving him a decent amount of the workload there. No Derek Carr this week, most likely. So I do think that Kamara has a good shot at, decent production. I know they play the Bucks. It's not an awesome matchup, but Moss plays the Rams. Again, I don't think that's a great matchup either. So I will take the veteran Kamara that I know will probably catch some passes. That kind of sets him apart from Zach Moss a little bit as well. So I will take Kamara.
I'm gonna have to agree as well. If we're in the belief that Richardson is gonna come back, I have to imagine he takes some high value touches. That's not to say that he'll even finish the game, because if he takes one good hit, if he's playing, he's going to get pulled pretty quickly. So I'm going to say that Richardson comes back and eats into Moss's opportunities. I like that information, though. I mean, I'm interested to see what they do going forward with this situation, because we just saw today Jonathan Taylor was saying he doesn't want to come back to the Colts, but he can come back in week 5. So if he is actually going to be gone for a period of time, if not ever coming back, Zach Moss is really, really interesting. I want to ride Alvin Kamara, especially this first week back, because it is a division opponent. They're probably going to be missing Derek Carr, and they're going to need some juice in that run game. I mean, Taysom Hill's been leading the team in rushing yards, in multiple weeks now. That can't be acceptable. Sure, it's cool, like if you're a fan of football, but at the end of the day, they really need to get the ground game going. And I think with Winston coming in, that even opens up more opportunity to run the ball more potentially with him. And of course, more high value targets, more catches in prime areas of the field. I want to get to some of the questions in the chat here. We've got DeAndre Swift Season from YouTube asking, do I pick up Dalvin Cook off waivers and drop Kadarius Toney? Full point, PPR, 12-team redraft. I am in favor of that move. Yes.
Yeah, me too. Tony, he had negative points last week, so.
Play 2 snaps.
I guess, I guess I do it. I really would depend on what my team needs are. If I don't really need a running back, Dalvin Cook's not going to beat out Breece Hall later on in the season, right? Like Kadarius Toney could still potentially have some good weeks, ahead of him. It's a great offense to have a wide receiver in. I know he's a little banged up now, so I'll give him a slight pass, even though he is kind of dog shit. I'll still probably keep Toney, though. If I'm good on running back and I don't really need Dalvin Cook, I'd probably just keep Toney a little longer just to see how it shakes out. But if you're needy at running back, then that's a pretty easy move to make.
Now the Jets could also get in a situation where they just shut down Breece Hall because they're so bad.
It's true.
I don't think they'll shut him down. I just think they'll not use him how they're doing it now.
All right, we got Kenny from the YouTube chat asking, traded Montgomery and Achane per his requested name pronunciation, and Jalen Waddle for Jefferson and Pierce. I have Diggs and Bijan after the trade or with the trade. I mean, that sounds good. You always like to get Justin Jefferson on your roster. I don't think that you overpaid, because I do think that Devin Achane, probably just played the best game of his career production-wise. I don't know if either of those guys will ever repeat such a stat line. God bless them if they do, because that was just awesome, super entertaining to watch. I'm a big David Montgomery guy, but you're selling him low, when he's still limited, not knowing if he's even going to play tomorrow. So even if he does come back, I don't hate selling him kind of low in this situation, even though he has scored a touchdown in every appearance. And similar with Waddle, you're getting a guy that's going to be coming back from injury. So, it's not like the price is super high on him. So, yeah, I think it's a decent move. I hope Dameon Pierce, really reshapes things for you. Hope he makes a vast improvement this season. So he's a decent buy low target as well. But you gain the best player in the trade, and that's Justin Jefferson. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think Jefferson obviously is a key piece. If you already got Diggs and Bijan, that's really nice. Monty's not exciting. Like you said, he's a good vet, like a safety net at the running back position, and likely isn't going to supplant Gibbs, Gibbs isn't going to supplant him because the Lions just don't like to give their exciting running backs touches. But Monty's good. I like Monty. I always have. So, but either way, long story short, HA and I also kind of just, like you said, I still think that game was a fluke. Not like a fluke, like he's a talented player, but like you said, that's probably, you're not going to see, I don't think you'll see that again. If so, I mean, I'll gladly be wrong. So, yeah, you're getting the best player in fantasy football, and Jefferson. Pierce could get better. Maybe scores a couple more touchdowns down the line. So I like it.
Anything to add, Andrew?
I'd probably do it too. I would love to see what the rest of the team looks like. I mean, how's your depth? I mean, because you're giving up 3 pieces that are valuable pieces. I think, Achane down the line, but Montgomery, when he comes back, and Waddle as well, will be immediately contributors. So I think I still do it, but I'd like to see the depth of the team to make sure you're not cutting yourself thin with any injuries that could potentially pop up. But I mean, it's hard to just pass up Jefferson.
1000%. You want to get the next question, Andrew?
I do. The next question is, where do you buy your game tickets? Better be on Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theaters near you. One time I was helping a buddy trying to get tickets, and he had me hunting down these tickets on all these random sites, and I just kept finding it extremely stressful because you would go in and you try to find a ticket. Then you have to do all the filters, and you have to go through and see, like, okay, this ticket says it's $125, but then you go through it and it actually is $240 with all the excess fees and shit that they put on top of it. With Game Time, you do not have that. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guaranteed, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll be having. If you go through the Game Time app, it's pretty easy to scroll through and find what you want. Filter system is nice. They have everything pretty in a neat order. I'm a guy that likes to look at the specific details of an app, and this app has it all for me when I was going through it and kind of taking a look, at like games and different concerts. My wife loves NSYNC. We are from that generation. So if there's ever a reunion tour, I will be checking out Game Time to make sure that I'm not stressing out how much money I'm gonna have to buy for these damn NSYNC tickets. But Game Time is the place for last minute ticket deals. Fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Get images of your seats before you buy them, so you know exactly where your money is getting you. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are all done. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through the email. Snag tickets now without the stress. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use our code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Game Time, it is where you get last-minute tickets, the lowest price, guaranteed. Also, want to tell the good people about Underdog Fantasy. If you aren't on Underdog Fantasy, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You like best ball? Check. You want to do pick'ems? Higher, lower? Check. They have everything that you need. Underdog is a great way to play alongside your favorite football teams all season long. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. Call to action from now until October 4th. Underdog is matching 100% off the first, or I'm sorry, 100% of the first purchase, first deposit up to $500. Yes, I said $500, matching 100% of that. They also have the $100,000 Sundays continues on Underdog Fantasy. Total of 2 million prizes all season long. 100K in prizes this week. 10K to 10 different people. New sweepstakes every week of the NFL season. I know there was a couple different over-unders I would like this week. I like a couple of the Bills overs as well. Josh Allen rushing over. I have Jahan Dotson over this week as well. I think he gets back in the groove. Bruni, you got any sneaky Bears overs maybe? What this awful defense are going to be going against?
Unders.
Unders. Oh man, you're one of those guys.
I don't know, man. I don't know, pal. It's bad. It's stinking bad.
DJ Moore, I don't know what it is, but over under for him, I feel like he's the guy that could potentially see Patrick Surtain. So I mean, probably under on DJ Moore, huh?
Yeah, that sounds pretty certain.
Oh, man. So you got the dad hat on, got the dad jokes. Love it. So watch along with us, make your picks, and maybe make a little extra cash. over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Back to the questions. Michael Llewellyn, man, what a name, Llewellyn, from Twitter asked Madison at Carolina or Achane at Buffalo or Michael Pittman versus the Rams. This is my flex spot. Have Bijan and Etienne as my starters at RB with Diggs, Puka, Metcalf as my starters at wide receiver. So again, he's asking pick one, Madison versus Carolina, Achane versus Buffalo, or Michael Pittman versus the Rams. I mean, just easy here for me. It's Madison. Carolina sucks. I know Cam Akers is going to be there. I'm not going to give Cam Akers a boatload of work. Madison just proved that he could actually do it. They went out and got Cam Akers, and that lit a fire under his ass, and then he went out and had a decent game. So I'm not going to overthink this one. I don't know. Buffalo has a really good defense. Brian Robinson is like 6th in the NFL in rushing yards, and they did not let him have a very good game. Pittman scares me a little bit with the uncertainty at the quarterback position. So it's Madison for me. This is pretty easy for me.
What do you think, Jeremy?
So it was Madison, Pittman, and
Achane. Which is so weird to say Achane though.
All right. I'm not starting Achane. I'm just not. I don't think that it was vindictive of what we're going to see. If Ahmed's healthy, I argue that he's probably ahead of him because he already won the job ahead of him in camp. If Jalen Waddle's back, the Bills' defense has actually been really good against the run thus far. Teams haven't had the opportunity to really run on them yet. But the Dolphins are predicated on speed. The Bills' defense is predicated on speed. It's not really a great matchup for them. So I'm probably leaning. I'm going to lead Madison if Anthony Richardson plays. If Minshew plays, I would probably play Pittman.
I surprisingly am going to say Pittman here. 11, 12, and 11 targets the last 3 weeks. With or without Anthony Richardson, Michael Pittman's getting that volume. At that rate, I think that's putting him at, ties him for 4th most catches in the NFL right now. 8, 8, and 9 his last 3 weeks. He's just not really getting that booming yardage. And he did have a touchdown week 1 with Anthony Richardson. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman here. That's really a tough one, though. If you're chasing more upside, you need multiple touchdowns. Maybe you pick one of those running backs. But I don't think Madison's going to be a guy that's going to put up multiple touchdowns. I mean, did it say PPR or not?
No, it does not. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, it does. Yeah, it is PPR.
Okay. I mean, that definitely gives Madison some more life in the conversation. I mean, he had 5 catches last week. I mean, obviously the team's going to pass the ball a lot, but do they have to up against Carolina? That's what I don't know, and I don't know if I trust as much. I'm gonna go Michael Pittman here. I'm gonna ride the wave, and I agree. Achane, not like he's gonna run into a wall, but he still has to split touches with Raheem Mostert. Like he's not, in a lead running back position still. This is week 4, so we could even see Jeff Wilson come back next week and create even more issues with this situation. I just don't love the matchup. I mean, I think if Achane had a better matchup, I would definitely be interested, but I'm going to pass. I mean, he's not playing the Bears, so I'm hard pass. It's the Bills. It's a different wild animal. All right, let me grab the next question here. Casey Michael Helt from the SGPN Fantasy Football Discord asks, is it still safe to start DeAndre Hopkins? The Titans were a huge letdown last week, and I'm going back and forth with Hopkins or Drake London this week. Both have been good and bad. 12-team PPR. That is a bit of a doozy. Jeremy, let's kick it to you first. What are your thoughts?
So I'm probably going London. And it's very, very close because the Falcons don't know how to pass the football. But DeAndre Hopkins has just been really bad this year. And the Titans also don't know how to pass the football. So currently I have London at 46 and I have DeAndre Hopkins at 47. So on my weekly rankings, I just think that maybe the matchup with the Jags overseas, maybe London's a little bit better. But yeah, I can't trust Ryan Tannehill. Not that I trust Desmond Ridder much better, but I think
Your
London
premise
has
is London in London equals dollar bills, y'all.
yeah, at least touchdowns. Maybe he gets one. That's what I'm hoping
London
for
in
at this
London.
point.
I can hear it now. Who's going to be on that game? Greg Olson? Is it Tony Romo? Who's going to be on that game?
It's not Romo. I know Romo has the Bills game. I saw that.
I'm going to find out right now because that's got to happen after that touchdown. What are your thoughts here, Andrew?
Oh man, I would prefer to not start either one of these dudes. To be honest. Yeah, that is tough. This one's a head scratcher a little bit for me. I will probably take. You know what? I'll roll with Hopkins. I think he's going to get more targets than London. Desmond Ridder is just abysmal. So not that Ryan Tannehill's much better. I'll lean on the veteran here for this one a little bit. Take Hopkins. Just hope that he can get himself anywhere in the 10 to 12 targets range and falls in the end zone. I just don't think London gets more than 6, maybe at least not 6 catchable balls. I mean, goodness gracious, Ridder needs to get his shit together. I mean, he's killing London and Pitts. It is just awful what's happening with Atlanta right now. It's passing game. So I'll take Hopkins, but it's close, and I would prefer to not start either one of these guys.
Who does Tennessee get this week? Is it Cincinnati? Yeah.
Don't love it, right? But
yeah, I don't love it either. Their defense came alive on Monday night. I'm gonna go London. I'm gonna go London as well. And he was just someone that I was higher on in the offseason. I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I like the London and London narrative. Yeah, you're onto something there, Jeremy. Let's catch up with some questions here from the chat. I'm just gonna assign them to you guys. I don't want us to dive into every single one too deeply. Jeremy, first up, what do you think here? Trade Eckler for Davante Adams. I'm going to say no. That's me personally. What do you think?
I mean, in a vacuum, I'll take Eckler, and the only reason I'll say that is that once he's back, he's one of the few running backs that has a really huge volume. Not that Davante Adams doesn't get a huge target share, but the running backs with huge volume is much more limited. So I'm going to take Eckler. I just think the upside's a little bit higher on a consistent weekly basis. Also, what's the quarterback situation going to look like for Adams with Garoppolo now in concussion protocol? Could change later on, but Eckler for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Davante Adams, someone I really like this season because of touchdowns, already scoring a lot of them. Garoppolo throwing a lot of touchdowns, also throwing a lot of interceptions. Andrew, start or sit half-point PPR, Gabe Davis or Devon Achane? Same game. Gabe Davis, only one catch, but scored the touchdown this week.
I'll take Davis. I think the Bills are going to throw the ball a decent amount on Miami. And again, we talked about Achane just kind of fading what he just did. It's not going to happen again. I don't believe. I'll take it on the chin if it does, but I can't see it happening again. Mostert's a guy right now, so I'll take Gabe Davis.
Fair enough. I think that Achane still has more touches come the end of that game, but maybe he doesn't find the end zone. Gabe Davis does. Should be a high-scoring game, especially after what we saw from them last year. Jeremy, should I trade away Rachaad White or James Conner? Again,
Redraft
kind of like a
is White.
What's that?
Down. Redraft is Rachaad White. I don't want to move Conner.
But you will move Rachaad White in redraft?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I want to hold both personally.
Oh my God, man, we are so different. I want to trade both these dudes away.
Why is that? Go ahead. We can dive a little deeper into this one.
I mean, I'm not a Connor guy. I've been off Connor all offseason. Now he's having a good run right now, but Cardinals at any point can literally just fall apart. Like they can just quit their season. It's bound to happen for the Cardinals. They just have so many different issues on the team that are question marks for me. So while he's doing well now, I think is when you can get good value for him. So I trade him away. Same thing with White. He's had a good role, good usage, but they drafted Sean Tucker. This team can also fall apart. I mean, we've seen Baker ruin teams. Now, again, right now he's doing well. So I think the trade value for Rachaad White is just as high as it is for Connor, almost. So for me, depending on what you can get for them, I'd be willing to let both these guys walk.
Yeah,
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I'd
You
let
got
both walk
you got every
too,
point.
but
You got all point of views here.
yeah, I mean, I'd let them both walk too. So I mean, I agree. I just feel like I'd rather trade White than Connor.
That's fair. Like I said, I want to hold both of those guys. I like players on bad teams, especially come the end of the season. You get a lot of volatile scoring out of those systems. Do I start Jordan Love or Joe Burrow? I'm going to say Joe Burrow. I'm just going to say the flow keeps going in good directions here. He's going to continue to get better. I like Jordan Love, but I mean, I do now anyways, at least after what I've seen. Seems competent, efficient, but not more than Joe Burrow. Personally, I'm not going to overreact to that. I'm going to keep riding Burrow. We got London saying London is a bet, plus 300 for first TD, plus 220 anytime. Well, let's ride. I love the anytime. Let's see, 12-team PPR. Jeremy, start Kyrene or Kamara at the flex?
I'm gonna go Kyron. Again, it's another guy high volume touches right now. I mean, he didn't catch any of them, but he saw 7 targets against the Bengals. He only caught like 2. High volume, likely to score. He probably should have scored in that Bengals game at the end there. Indy hasn't been overly great against running backs. Not the worst, middle of the pack, 17 points. So it's not the best matchup. But again, I'm gonna give Kamara a week. I'd rather be wrong with Kamara and give him a week versus passing up on what Kyron Williams has been one of the most consistent backs outside of last week. So
yeah, I guess. I guess I'll go Kyron. I don't know. I fear they
such
just
overwhelming conviction.
Well, they just said they're about like they don't want to drag Kyron Williams into the ground, right? Like they don't want to use him so much like they are right now because they want to keep him kind of all season long. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But again, Kamara's just coming back. How much are they truly going to get into it? So I guess it's Kyron Williams, but I don't feel great about either.
I'm going to go with Kamara. I'm going to go with the devil I know versus the devil I don't. Obviously, we saw 2 good weeks out of Kyron, but last week, a little bit more bust worthy. I think they're going to come back and give Kamara a lot of touches. So I'm going to ride high with him this week. Mark Andrews for Waller and Christian Watson, Amari Cooper. Sure, that looks good. Do that. I will take the Waller side.
yeah, I mean that's a lot of pieces for one guy.
Yeah, so
I mean,
that's an easy one.
That's a vacuum, I mean, what's the league settings? What's your team? I
All
definitely
right,
want a second tight end with Waller, though. I'll say that.
Yeah. Last question here, and then we're going to get back to our mailbag. Half-point PPR. Do I trade Andrews and Terry for Aaron Jones and Goff? 2 flex. I have Dak, Etienne, Walker, Terry, Hollywood, Reynolds. Let's see. I don't think so. I don't think you need to do that. Do you guys agree? I mean, I'm not looking to trade
QB, right?
I'm not looking to trade Andrews.
Yeah.
I think it's just a 1 QB league by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on who's on the waiver wire.
I'm guessing he's saying 2 flexes and like 2 player flexes. So yeah, I'm gonna keep Andrews.
I'm assuming it's single QB. I mean, that would be ridiculous if it was super flex. If it's super flex, then by all means, I wouldn't hate that, but I don't think so.
That's what I mean. Like it makes more sense to me to be super flex just because of what the trade is.
Right.
But if it's not, like I want Andrews and Terry. I know Terry's been down, but
I'll buy that dip for sure. I know Andrew was over there saying the same thing.
Yeah, I've watched him enough to know that it's bound to happen for him. I mean, he's played with dog shit QBs his entire career, and he's done it. So yeah, it'll happen for Terry.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to dive back into the mailbag, but first we want to remind you that we are brought to you by VSiN. Sign up now and save 40% off football season special when you use promo code SGP. Just go to vsin.com/subscribe and use promo code SGP. Sean and Ryan are in a contest going head-to-head with other VSiN shows to see who sells the most subscriptions. The winning show gets a $1,000 Super Bowl future The best part is Sean and Ryan are going to cut you in on the prize if they win. So step one, go to vsin.com, vsin.com/subscribe and use promo code SGP to sign up. And then step two, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/VSIN to submit your proof of purchase. If they win, you'll get a vote on what team to use the $1,000 Super Bowl future on. And if it hits, you'll get an equal piece of the action. So go to vsin.com/subscribe and use promo code SGP. Then sportsgamblingpodcast.com/VSIN to submit. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical bets and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets' revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down leg by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort out all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app and visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Okay, and we're back. Party on, Andrew. Party on. And we're back to the mailbag. Let's dive in. We've got Brian Riley from Twitter asking, okay, so me again. You guys nailed it. Back-to-back weeks streaming QBs in Baker and Stroud. I beat my opponents by slim margins in both weeks, so kudos and TYVM. Thank you very much. You are welcome. But I'm back with the same conundrum. Should I continue to lean with Stroud, who looks good but has a tough matchup against the Steelers, or play a similar market to last week with guys like Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, Josh Dobbs, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Jimmy G, or Andy Dalton? Around and around we go on the quarterback carousel on the waiver wire / starter sit here. Do you guys like Stroud? I mean, Stroud's been damn good. He's top 5 in the NFL in total passing yards right now as a rookie. Bryce who? Bryce number 1, Stroud number 2. Looking a lot better right now. But some of these other options, decent matchups. But, I mean, not the best of the pickings, we'll say. What do you think here, Jeremy?
I'm still trying to figure out exactly who is playing who, to be honest. I'm probably going Stroud, to be honest.
Okay. Liking what you're seeing.
I know it's a little bit tougher matchup, but the Steelers have allowed 15 points to quarterbacks per week thus far. Mm-hmm. In comparison, the Jaguars actually were at, let's see, where'd it go? I just had it in front of me. We're at 20. And that's because Stroud lit him up. So I just think that this Houston offense is a little bit better than people want to give them credit. Now, the only worry is obviously TJ Watt and that defensive line with Pittsburgh. If they can get home to Stroud, that could be a little bit dicey. But I'm going to ride the hot hand, I think. I don't really want to get into adding any of these other guys. Truthfully, Dobbs, I think San Francisco, I don't know if lightning strikes twice, obviously lighting up on Dallas. I don't think I'm going to bank on that.
Yeah.
Sam Howell is actually sneakily good. I don't remember, who does Howell have? But they have the Eagles, so that's not much better than the
Eagles
Steelers,
haven't played well against the
opinion.
quarterback position.
Yeah, but Sam Howell was sacked 19 times.
Yeah, it's the defensive line. Like the same, it's what the Bills got to them. That's the same thing that the Eagles are going to be able to do, in my opinion. And the Eagles have a better secondary than the Bills, so I don't like Sam Howell's matchup. Ridder, Andrew mentioned it earlier. Like, no, Jimmy G concussion protocol.
Let me ask you this though, Jimmy G, if he plays, I mean, that's a good matchup. He's got the Chargers. What are your thoughts there if he plays?
If he plays, interesting. I still lead Stroud, though. I have Stroud ranked really high. I think that he's going to be fine against Pittsburgh, personally. So I'm not looking to make that move. But if you're really streaming, Jimmy's probably your best option of that group if he plays. If not, as crazy as it sounds, probably Andy Dalton.
Well, actually, I think Bryce is going to be back.
Bryce might be playing now. So
it sounds like he's going to play.
Today. Yeah, that he practiced, and it sounds like they might be playing him.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
If that's the case, I do like Garoppolo probably. Also, Jameis if he's out there. Jameis is actually
that's a good one. He didn't have that one in there, and Dalton also shouldn't be in there. I would still probably go with Stroud over Winston. I think you nailed it on the head there. Just looking at this group, they haven't done enough for you, and I think what Stroud has shown us through these set of games is enough to give him another week, even in a tough matchup. What are your thoughts here, Andrew?
Yeah, this one's really tough. As Jeremy was kind of going through it, I was talking to myself in my head, and I don't love the Steelers matchup. Joey Porter has been as advertised. That dude is legit on the outside. So I don't know. The Steelers defense is very good. So I worry that everyone's hyping up Stroud. It kind of reminds me of what just happened with Sam Howell. Week 2, everyone's like, oh man, Sam Howell's looking real good, and then they play a good defense, and then he looks like dog shit. I'm worried that's what's going to happen to Stroud this week. So I don't love the matchup, but I mean, based off of what they're putting here for the similar market and QBs, don't love any of them really. Andy Dalton, again, could be interesting if he plays, but we don't think he's going to play. Don't really want to play Bryce. It's tough. I mean, I think you just have to go with Stroud here. Man, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I guess Stroud, but I truly don't love that either. But I really don't like any of these other guys that he's mentioned.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if you get the game Stroud gave you last week, but I think he's safe to finish within the top 24. I mean, I don't know if it's a 1 or 2 quarterback league. Like,
I think he could have a similar week, actually.
Do you think he can
12
get
points?
Top 12? No. Do you think he'd be a top 12 QB this week?
Yeah,
he was number 7 or number 8 last week?
So you have him at 12. Okay. All right. That's I'll say in my mind, he probably finishes closer to like 15, which I mean is not bad, but I just don't know how many points that is. I mean, you'll be lucky if he gets you to 15 to 20, maybe.
The last I don't have it.
He got me 18 in a single QB league this week, and it paid dividends in that matchup. And I started him over Geno Smith. So I'm going to start Geno Smith this week.
I'm assuming that's 4-point, Bruni.
No, it's 6-point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He just didn't do a ton with the yardage. We have 50 yards per point, not 25.
Oh, gotcha. I was gonna say, how the hell the math isn't adding up there? Okay.
Yeah. So standard fantasy pros scoring, like at their leaderboard, Trevor Lawrence was at 15. He was quarterback 18 last week.
Okay.
Gotcha.
For reference, be top 12, it's got to be 20 points. At least that's what it was last week.
Okay. Andrew, why don't you grab another question from the mailbag? We will take a few more. And for folks in the chat, if you have any last-minute questions, now is the time to get them in before the end of the show here. What do we got, Andrew?
Or chat, if you have questions, you can always just join the Discord and hit us up whenever you want, because that is the thing as well. So join the Discord. Bruni and I are both in there. You can tag us at our handles here, and we will be happy to answer your questions on Discord as well. How the hell do you say? Is it Ryan Echo 7 from Reddit? What is that? Is that Ryan? What the hell is that?
That's Ryan, like the director, Ryan Johnson. Same way. That's a millennial way to spell Ryan, man.
Okay, all right. Ryan Echo 7 says, "Can I sit Kyle Pitts for Luke Musgrave? Feel I should start Pitts out of principle, but Musgrave has more targets. Both feel like a crapshoot. Who do I choose? This is standard scoring." So, Jeremy, what say you? Luke Musgrave or Kyle can't get a ball thrown his way that's catchable? Pitts.
Luke Musgrave. I have him as the tight end 11.
Wow.
He's just getting pure volume. He has finished as the tight end 10 in week 1, 11 last week, and then was outside the top 24 in the second week. And that's half PPR, so this is probably a little bit higher than the standard finishes. But I think the matchup against Detroit is going to be pretty good. And I think it's only a matter of time before Musgrave hits. And like you said, I mean, Kyle Pitts could be wide open running down the field for about an 80-yard touchdown, and Desmond Ritter's going to hit the cheerleaders on the side of the field. So, and I'm just being a little bit harsh on Ritter because I kind of was like, I thought he could have been decent. You know, I thought he was going to be a decent fantasy option, nice late round, and he just said, nah, I'm good. So
I'm gonna have the same response but nicer, and just say that Detroit allows the second most fantasy points to the tight end position. So not to completely slander Kyle Pitts, the once
no,
unicorn,
I'm not slandering Pitts. I'm slandering the quarterback and
the situation. Yeah, the once unicorn at the tight end position falling from grace. Now a villain.
It does hurt. It does hurt so bad. Yeah, it's probably Musgrave, as much as I hate to say that, because, I mean, Kyle Pitts just, so good. They just can't get a ball his way that is nice, clean, right in his hands. I mean, it's just, the legend of Taylor Heineke in Atlanta is soon going to happen. That is when Pitts can actually do something, because Taylor Heineke, as a Commanders fan, has watched him. He just likes to say, fuck it, and just throw it downfield to whoever the hell he thinks can catch it.
Is Taylor Heineke going to be the hero of our best ball lineups for all these Falcons?
I think I took him twice in BBM. So that would be interesting. But yeah, I mean,
you
honestly,
laughed at me. You laughed at me for taking Jimmy Graham. Who's laughing now, pal?
Oh,
my one
God,
share.
Your victory lapping one touchdown. Get the shit out of here.
One share, one touchdown. Let's go. But I like the Taylor Heineke talk. I agree with you. I think that getting him on the field could make him what they would say. Let me be your hero.
It's probably likely. I mean, they're going to be in contention to win that division. They're going to have to pull the plug sooner than later, would be my guess. But
Andrew, anything to add for that for Musgrave? Is he the answer?
Yeah, I think so. I hate to say it again. I feel like Pitts. I feel like if you have Pitts, it is really hard to sit him because you're like, well, what if he does have a good game? What if Ritter decides to be able to throw the ball again? Like, so you'll kick yourself if you sit him and he has a good game. But at the same time, it's you're doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? Like, it's insanity. So yeah, I guess it's Musgrave.
All right, go ahead and pick one more, and I think we'll head out after that. So pick a good one.
Oh, pick a good one. This one's long, so long ones tend to, as you say, a long one and a good one. So James Ramirez from Facebook asked, not a start or sit question. Oh, God, this is a trade question. No, negative. We're not going into that. This is a start or sit show. Come on, man. Abort mission. All right, here, let's go. Ben Firestone from Twitter asked, pick two of these receivers to fill my last start spot and flex. Thielen versus Minnesota, Jerry Jeudy at Chicago, Nathaniel Tank Dell versus Pittsburgh, and Charmin Soft Michael Thomas versus Tampa Bay, or Tutu Atwell at Indianapolis. So again, it's Thielen, Jeudy, Tank Dell, Michael Thomas, or Tutu. What say you?
I don't know. Is Thielen going to have like a revenge game? I mean, I don't like the fact that they're talking about Bryce Young coming back. Honestly, I would be slamming the table for Adam Thielen if I knew Andy Dalton was going to start, and he's playing Minnesota. It is a home game for him in Carolina, I believe. Yes, it is. Man, I'm going to say Jerry Jeudy is definitely one. And, man, I want to say Tutu Atwell, to be honest with you, just based off of what I've seen. And I'm a little scared of Tank this week, just having such a big performance in week 3. I would rank them Jerry, Tutu, Tank. Those would be my top 3.
Jeremy, what say you? You need me to roll through them again for you?
No, I'm looking at it. I'm going to say Thielen and Dell. Judy, yeah, I mean, it's Russell Wilson. They're just, I know it's Chicago. I know it's a juicy matchup, but the Dolphins matchup was good too, and we saw how that went. So Mims is getting some work. Sutton's in there. Judy's in there. The running backs, like, don't love it. I mean, he could score, and that would help, but Michael Thomas is like wide receiver 39 every single week this year, so he's not going to be viable for you. And Tutu Atwell, surprisingly, hasn't been as good. Like, he's been good, and he's been targeted, but, like, unless he scores, he only has, like, single-digit points. So I'm going to go with Dell. And Thielen is, like, killing it right now. Like, I know that, like, he really did it with Dalton, but, I mean, he did have 13 points with Bryce in the week prior. He's currently the wide receiver 8, if that means anything in 3 weeks.
You hear that, Andrew?
And Dell's the wide receiver 7, so why not go with 7 and 8? So I'll take that.
Andrew, that's a good thing. You had a great call on Tank Dell. I had a great call on Thielen so far. What's the problem here?
Nothing. I just, oh man, I just don't want to see your heart get broken when the Thielen hill finally crumbles and he just comes crashing down.
I'm gonna feel really bad for people when Tank Dell falls apart. He's a little person.
He's
not
happening.
that big
Stop
of a
your
guy.
slander on the rookie. Stop your slander on the rookie. We're talking about
I'm
old
starting him in
Thielen.
multiple leagues. There's no slander here. I like the guy. We've been talking up Houston today.
Thielen. Oh God, Thielen. Why are you doing this to me? This man has no business doing what he's doing right now. He's on the wrong side of 30. Just go back and listen to me talk all offseason. You'll trade Thielen right now. Immediately get this man off the team.
That's not bad advice. That's not bad advice, especially where you drafted Adam Thielen in comparison to your top receivers. If you have him and you hit on your guys, yeah, you bet your ass you should sell Thielen. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, though I will say this. If it is Andy Dalton this week, I like Thielen. If it's Bryce, I don't love Thielen as much, but I do like the revenge spot. We are a narrative-based gambling/fantasy company here. So I do like the revenge spot. So I reluctantly will say Thielen. I do think it's a good play, but again, don't come at me, Twitter, when this man falls off, because I've been on the fade Thielen train the entire time. So I will take Thielen this week. The second one here is really interesting to me. I like the matchup for Judy, but as Jeremy alluded to, we thought the matchup last week was great, and Jerry Judy is no Tyreek Hill. He ain't going to get what Tyreek Hill has the potential to get, and I think Javonte Williams is an interesting play this week because of what we just saw, what just happened to Chicago on offense. Kansas City just did whatever they wanted to. I think Denver's good enough to be able to take it to Chicago. I'm sorry, Bruni, but I don't know what the hell they're doing, man. I had so much high hopes for Chicago, and it's just all falling apart already. So Judy's a decent matchup. Tank Dell, I like that he's not Nico Collins, and he's not going to see Joey Porter in this instance a lot, I don't believe. So I do like the Dell matchup as well. I will never take Michael Thomas because he is Charmin soft. Dude stubs his toe and is out for 4 years, so get out of my face with that. Tutu Atwell is very interesting as well. Him and Puka have just been on a tear. Indianapolis' secondary not very good. So, man, it's really close for Tank Dell and Tutu for me. Jeremy went with Tank Dell, so I guess choose your fighter on this. I'll take Tutu just because they're just so hyper-focused on him and Puka in this offense. So I'll take Tutu, but I do think it's extremely close with him and Tank Dell.
1,000%. All right, before we head out here, Jeremy, give us one hero and one villain for the rest of the season. So I'm looking for a hero. I'm looking for a player that's going to rise from the ashes and revitalize lineups. And I'm looking for a villain who's really high right now, who's going to come crumbling down and end people's season.
And don't you dare think about saying Puka Nacua. Don't you slander Puka.
Okay, forewarning, apparently.
Just one.
So, can this player have already risen? Like, could I just pick Tank Dell?
Sure.
It's too easy.
Pick.
All right.
If Tank is your hero, any player with the name Tank in it, that's a good start. So, you could have said Tank Bigsby, like he was going to.
Hey, I like Tank Bigsby. Don't even start. I'll sit here. I will slander Travis. I will slander Travis Etienne for the next 30 minutes if you want.
Agreed.
We can go a 100%. Long time.
Agree with
you. All right. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. After you abruptly made me raise my blood pressure, I'm gonna go I'm going to say Jahan Dotson is my hero.
Nice. Okay.
I really like Dotson at the beginning of the year. Kind of hasn't had it fall his way right now. And I could even say Terry, like just the Washington receivers. But I think that they kind of get it going a little bit. I think this weekend was like a big, ugh. I know they have Philly, but I think Jahan Dotson by the end of the year, we'll be talking kind of about what we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the season this year. So I'll say Dotson's going to be my hero. And as far as villain goes,
While you look for your villain, by the way, Dotson was wide open for a touchdown this week, and unfortunately, Sam Howell was getting pressured and did not see it and threw it to Cole Turner, who did not make it into the end zone. So Dotson did miss out on a touchdown, so I like your call there.
I appreciate that. Villain. And this is tough. I don't like you guys. It's making me really think at this hour of the evening. I'm going to say...
Someone that's been up there. Hurting you.
I just, no one's been up there. Like, I mean, who's like really been consistently good? You know? And nobody really.
I mean, a good, good villain for me would be like Adam Thielen, right? Like he's killing it right now.
Too easy.
It is definitely, but like that's a kind
like
of
Zach
villain,
Moss
right?
crossed my mind, but like too easy. I'll say Raheem Mostert there.
Okay.
Also very easy, but
maybe Miami running backs in general.
Is that because Jeff Wilson's going to be coming back, and down the line they may use Achane a little bit more to see what they truly have in him? Is that kind of the thought?
Yeah, a combination of just like some injury risk built in there. I think that I really thought Wilson was going to be the guy to begin the season anyways, to an extent. Like I thought they were just going to be a 50-50 split. I thought Wilson would see the red zone touches, so I thought that he'd probably be a little bit better. So I'll say Mostert just because I do think that eventually this becomes, whether it's a 3-headed committee or a 2-headed committee, I think that you'll be kind of started the guessing game of who's going to score the touchdowns, because they're not all going to score 4 every single week. They're not going to each score every week, just because once Waddle's back, this team does like to pass the ball more than run the ball. So Mostert right now is like, I think running back 1. So
ahead of CMC.
I think he'll fall off.
There you go. That's a good one. All right, so for a hero, we have Tank Dell, and for a villain, we have
Jahan Dotson.
Oh, sorry, Jahan Dotson. My bad.
Jahan
Dotson.
Too, yeah,
I thought that's what he had led. I thought that's what he had led with, but that's all right. Tank Dell, Jahan Dotson, tag team, a little bit of a duo hero set there, and then for a villain, we've got Raheem Mostert. Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, Jeremy, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, Twitter is @PopesFFH. I don't call it X, sorry.
All good.
And then all my written work and stuff is over at ftnfantasy.com. Rankings are up there as well, weekly rankings, dynasty rankings, and then the Dynasty podcast as well, which is on mostly all platforms.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Andrew, am I going to see you in the lounge this Sunday?
Yeah, I should be there. I was on Patriot Sports Radio doing a spot for them, answering all their fantasy questions as well. But yeah, you should see me in the lounge. And just a reminder, everybody, again, hit up the Discord, get in there. If you don't know how to get into Discord or don't know how to get into the Sports Gambling Podcast Network channel, hit Bruni or myself up on Twitter. Let us know. We will get you an invite in there. Lots of people asking questions. This time of season, start, sit, trade, dynasty questions, everything. It's cool that it's not just Bruni and I and the other fantasy guys answering questions. It's regular old Joes, just like yourself, helping each other out. So that's pretty cool. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notifications. You being subscribed helped us continue to do this week in and week out. So we definitely appreciate all of you as well. Download the episode. Let us know, what all you guys would like to hear us talk about. And if you have any start sit questions, send it to us for next week. After Sunday, after your players have played, start hitting us up. Let us know who you are potentially thinking about the start and sit for the following week.
Awesome. Take care. Be well. Be good, everybody. If you can't be good at it. We'll see ya.